Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and
welcome to Midnight Madness Live with my friend the Sci-Fi Dragon. He wanted to come back. We're just going to do a shorter one today. I got some classic Madman rumor speculation about what's happening with all the stuff coming out of Lucasfilm and Kathy. Yeah, we covered it, but guess what? Something else happened today with Spielberg. And I like to look at everything happening. It happens all at once and do a deep dive in my opinion of what I think's going on, why it's happening, why does all this news come out at the exact same time. Sci-Fi Dragons here. Let me get your channel in the chat so people can go check you out. But you're planning to do some more videos soon, I'm hoping. I think, right?
Yeah. I need to make some more videos. I already have a whole bunch of scripts that I have like on the back burner that I can just take out and start recording.
Cool. So go check him out. I'm gonna show his channel now in the chat. Oh, here we go, Longa. Here we go. Throwing heat right away. Yeah, well, make a response video, Daddy, then. All right. Here's Sci-Fi Dragons. Oh, I forgot to put. Sci-Fi Dragon. Go check him out. Go sub. He's going to have videos shortly. And he's always welcome here. Oh, now it's all fun and laughter. I say rumors, speculation, strong opinions at the beginning, so I'm covered. I can talk about whatever I want. It's my opinion. Deal with it. And Sci-Fi Dragon will try to set me straight a little bit too.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Obi-Wan Vlog. Hey, Joshua Tika. Hey, Benzo H. Hey, CJH. I'm going to also tweet out this video, so we might get a few more people in here to view. Let me do that too. So, what's come out today? What's interesting is this stuff all happens in a row, and now we're getting rumors about. Oh, hold on a second. About
thanks, Phobic Xeno.
Oh, Phobic Xeno's in here? All right, cool.
Yeah,
Phobic.
he said he's going to subscribe to me.
All right. I got a message. Oh, sorry, I was looking at something else. All right. So, thanks, Phobic Xeno. Thanks for supporting the guy. Yeah, he's a nice dude. He has more facts than I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Right, he comes. I enjoyed you. Everyone enjoyed having you on last night. We had a lot of fun. Get to the main topic. Is I forgot the. Darn it! I made an image and I forgot the. Hold on a second. I'm going to show the image now. Okay, Spielberg is out because he knows about Kathy. Do you think he knows? I mean, I don't think it's happened right now. I honestly don't think they would do that all in the same week either. But my theory is he's not sticking around for Indy 5, which has lots of delays and false starts. And there was rumors that it was going to go into production soon. But this comes out right after the day that Bob Iger takes a different role, a day after Project Luminous. And then the other thing is that Kevin Feige stuff. Now that's marketing to try to really push it. This Black Widow movie was a labor of love for Kevin Feige to get out the door. I don't think anyone was stopping him. I just think it didn't fit into where my honest opinion is that they didn't want to sidetrack with a standalone movie with that build up to Endgame, Infinity War Endgame. They wanted something that's going to progress the story, and they just didn't want to go backwards. They didn't know where to fit that Black Widow movie in. So I don't think there was anyone holding him back from that. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it kind of also plays into the whole narrative of that previous Marvel executive who said that like female superheroes couldn't sell toys or something like that. I don't know if you heard about that. That was like a while ago.
What's that again?
I said it kind of plays into the narrative that like there's of the of the previous Marvel executive that said that like female superheroes couldn't sell or something like that. They could sell
Okay.
toys. That was like a while ago though, before Kevin Feige really rose to power within Marvel.
Yeah. I've heard that in the past, but I don't think the current Disney anyone's going to stop him. I think they'd actually encourage him. So I just think
Yeah.
I think it was more that it didn't fit the story of to where, I mean, even Captain Marvel, they fit in, but they kind of had to make adjustments just to get that storyline in there too. It didn't, I mean, it wasn't the most natural implementation of a new character into the MCU was the Captain Marvel. They kind of did adjustments there. So I think they would have had to really do a big adjustments to the overall arc to get a Black Widow movie in earlier because it was all progressing forward. So
And is the Black Widow movie a prequel or is it like a sequel continuing from Endgame?
no, it's a prequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I know Black Widow died in Endgame, and I wasn't sure like how are they gonna make a Black Widow movie work after that?
Right. So it has to be a prequel. This is also where people might not be as hype about MCU movies anymore because that was a big event. Black Widow box office is going to be very revealing. I'm going to go see it though. My wife wants to see it. I like Scarlett Johansson, and hey, you know what? In Sci-Fi Dragon knows I was all about the boycott in Disney, but it's just like no one really cares. No one really does anything. My wife wants to see a movie. I'm going to take her now. I did my part. I boycotted Solo. I boycotted The Rise of Skywalker. I do try to spend as little money as I can on Disney products because I feel like that whatever happens, they just absorb more and more properties that you never get in more control of the industry. And I think it's at a detriment to the industry now. But there were very few people that would actually put up the fight. They just want to yell about it. So I'm like, I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be mad anymore. I thought I think the industry's worth fighting for. But
nobody else is willing to fight.
And I'm not here to just be mad on the internet just for the sake of it. I wanted to have a point to all of this madness.
And you want it to be genuine too.
Right. So I did my part. I'm gonna watch Rise of Skywalker when it comes out on Blu-ray. I'm gonna do some collabs on when that comes out. I honestly think that the message was already sent, and it didn't need a big group on the internet to send it. It just needed consumers to say, I'm not going to buy that. That's all. It's the simplest thing in the world. It's how everything works. If it's not worth the money, not as many people show up and they get the message. And that's what we see happening at Lucasfilm and Disney right now. Things are not going as well as they anticipated. All right.
No, they aren't.
Oh, Phobic Xeno's coming with a hot take. Spielberg is too old to direct anymore. He's lost his touch. I don't think he's too old to direct, but I do think you have a point that the Spielberg magic is not as potent as it used to be.
Yeah, I think so too.
We were talking before the show, me and Sci-Fi Dragon were like, how have you been feeling about Spielberg's recent efforts? And we're just like, they're okay. But before, when you saw Spielberg was coming to
kind of go over the radar.
Yeah. But in the past, like growing up when we were younger, when we heard a Spielberg movie was coming, we were like, yeah. But you don't get that same Ready Player One was the closest. And honestly, I was a little slightly disappointed with that one. Not that it was bad by any means. It's just it didn't push the envelope anywhere for me. Like there was a lot of different cameos of movie monsters and all kinds, like the DeLorean was in there, but it just seemed like a big video game. Like the graphics weren't even as good as a video game, really, to me. The special effects. It was fun. It just doesn't have the magic though for me.
Yeah.
Phobic Xeno says Black Widow is gonna break the records.
Well, I think it's gonna make $1 billion, but I don't know if it's gonna break any records.
I don't think that's an interest. I don't even think it's gonna get $1 billion. I think it. I mean, I think it'll do decent, but I don't think that many people were that interested after Endgame. I just don't see it.
Well, I mean,
I'd love to be
people
proven
said
wrong.
the same thing about Captain Marvel, but they were proven wrong, so I don't know.
But that's was within that was within the hype zone. Like that was in between Infinity War and Endgame, and it had a post-credit scene on Infinity War. So it's like, ooh, what is this? People didn't know, they wanted to check it out. People already know about Black Widow. It's not an introduction to a character, it's a character that's existed through most of the MCU. And I just don't think it. That's my opinion. I would love for Scarlett Johansson to get a big win, and it would be most successful that they might make another one. But I personally don't see it. Not that I'm not rooting against it. I just don't see it. But we can revisit that later. Let me see. Grobnob the Troll. If you don't want to spend much on Disney Star Wars products, you don't have to. They hit the dollar baskets very quickly. Somewhat. That's also an exaggeration, Grobnob. I mean, you really have to search for it. The toys aren't as good as they used. That's across the board, though. That's everywhere. The toy industry is also suffering. The digital age is a real thing. I mean, yes, if there's a quality product, the people will come, but also the hardcore go away when the products get inferior. So, constant battle. I want to hear what you guys in the chat and the Sci-Fi Dragon, though. Do you think this stuff is all connected, though? With the Kevin Feige, Project Luminous, Bob Iger stepping down, and now the next day we find out about Indy 5. Do you think this is all connected? They all are friends. They all know each other. I mean, Kathy Kennedy is very connected to Spielberg.
And they do look rather friendly in that picture too.
Oh no, you're going to the real speculation, Sci-Fi Dragon. Yeah, there's been some we're not coming on those rumors. Yes, but hey, there were some crazy times in Hollywood in the past, so I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. I'm not saying nothing, but I'm not saying anything either.
I know I'm not saying anything either.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some crazy times back in Hollywood when they were getting their start, when they were all young. Yeah. Hey. Hey, Wookiee Supremacy. Hey, Levon Media. Let me see. Oh, Cousin Angel of Yonkers. I kind of think Spielberg out is a good thing. In my opinion, he has done anything great since Jurassic Park. Oh, hot take. I don't know.
I liked his version of War of the Worlds. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's underrated. I thought that was pretty good too. People don't like that one, but I enjoyed it. It was intense.
And there's another movie that he made after Jurassic Park that kind of flew under the radar called Catch Me If You Can. It was like a Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too. People don't. I hear differing opinions on that one though. Time Traveler inside info. Get me in there now. I don't know what kind of inside info you're talking about. If it's about Comicsgate and that, I don't want to cover that in Movie Madness. But I'm open.
Kind of Doomcock sources that we're Doomcock level sources that we're talking about here.
I'm my own source. I come up with my own madness. I'm happy. I'm open to having you on in the future, Time Traveler. But I know you also follow the Comicsgate and stuff. and I don't want to include that in this video. So tell me in the chat if you're talking about movie insider info or you're talking about Comicsgate and the other campaign on the internet, because I don't want Sci-Fi Dragon. You don't want any part of that. I'm telling you right now.
No, I don't.
Right. We're sticking the movie. That's what I have a guest on that does not want to go into that. So I'll stay clear of that. Spielberg, too old for this. Levon Media has a theory. He thinks Steven Spielberg wasn't as passionate with Indy anymore, so he handpicked James Mangold for Indy 5. Did he handpick him? I didn't get that part of the story. I don't know if it was him or if it was Lucasfilm or Disney. I do think they also owe him James Mangold, because if you remember, he was supposed to do a Boba Fett movie before The Mandalorian came out, and it was so close to being announced. It was going to be announced after Solo. There was even an article ready. This is what Lucasfilm has done in the past. Because they give exclusives to Access Media like Vanity Fair and stuff, and then they have the article ready to go, like on a schedule to go out on the internet, and then Lucasfilm cancels the announcement, and then sometimes an article still slips out. And there's an article that still slipped out about James Mangold in the Boba Fett movie, and then after Solo bombed, they did the slowdown. They held back on that, but they are not going to let this talent go without giving them something. If there is going to be a replacement for Indiana Jones, I think he is the right one, especially if this is Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie. Logan was so good. It was a great movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. And to get that same treatment, not as extreme, because Indiana Jones is more lighthearted than Wolverine. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But to get that same treatment for Harrison Ford to Indiana Jones on his way out. Remember, Mangold gave the great ending to these two characters on film for both Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, so much that they're so happy with it. And I think that's what Harrison Ford wants for his final role, his final crack at the whip for Indy. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Do you think that they'll kill him off at the end? Because Levon Media was saying that if Indy dies at the end of 5, then he's gonna cry his eyes out.
That's a good question, Levon Media.
I know I know Harrison Ford doesn't hate Indiana Jones, his character Indiana Jones, as much as Han Solo, so he might not be on board with that.
Here's the problem. I think that they shouldn't kill him off and they could just have his final time. But knowing Disney, knowing the marketing, if they have the final and something happens to the character and it's a handoff to a different character that's going to take over for Indy, it would be more dramatic and it would help with the marketing. If there's rumors, they might not spoil it, but that would get people into the theater. And I almost feel like they might try something like that just for the marketing and the seat, the people in the seats, knowing a character, something's it's not just the typical Indy movie. Something's really, lasting effects to the character. So that's a good point. I think they might be tempted to do it. And I don't think they should, unless it's really done well. I don't think he needs to go out like Wolverine and Logan. I don't think he needs to die on his way out.
And I think if they did kill him, there'd be a lot of outrage from the fans. Like there'd be a lot of fans who were angry about it.
If they
were for Han Solo.
Yeah, if they do, they should just keep Kathy on so she can get the brunt of that hate too. Oh, Kathy does it again. Can you imagine? Oh, you guys, Levon Media, Sci-Fi Dragon, thank you so much. You got me another topic for a clickbait video. They killed Han and now they're gonna kill Indy. Disney sucks. Starring the leaky peacock. Oh, that's a great fit. That'll get some views, right? I should do
Yeah.
it. Although Sci-Fi Dragon is like, don't do that clickbait. It's a reality of the game, unfortunately. I don't like it myself, but oh man.
I mean, I don't mind clickbait as long as it's not misleading. That's the only stipulation with me.
Okay. Well, Lucasfilm is a dumpster fire. Coming up, I'm writing ideas for the day. I might just be joking. I'm not sure. Dumpster fire. First Han, now
Go
Indy.
Go ahead and do it, man.
First Han, now Indy. When will this disaster end? Is that funny to you? I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun with YouTube. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you gotta have fun.
Oh, all right. Keely Chow, what about his masterpiece he's directed, like Saving Private Ryan, Lincoln, and Warhorse? Yeah, I liked Saving Private Ryan, definitely. Lincoln, I liked a lot. Warhorse, I thought was really good too. Thank you, Keely Chow. I agree. I saw
a rant video, but I saw a rant video about Warhorse by another channel I'm subscribed to, called Ben's Movie Channel. He really hates that movie.
Oh, really?
Warhorse. Yeah, like he thinks it's pretty bad.
Oh, you know what one I really liked? Did he direct it? What was that animated one that's like Indiana Jones? They only did one, and
Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah, that was really fun.
He did that one with Peter Jackson.
Did Peter Jackson direct it? I can't remember.
They both directed it.
Oh, okay.
From what I remember.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm upset we never got a sequel. I think Peter Jackson was just going to do the sequel on his own or something.
I don't even know if it made any money or not. Like
it didn't make a lot of money. I don't think so.
Maybe that's why they didn't make a sequel then.
And the special effects. Oh, hold on, I messed up my headset. The special effects were really great. All right. Here's Phobic Scene. This is an interesting idea. It's very possible that Spielberg might have a second director and just take the name for his production company. Spielberg seen adults that he directed much of Player One. What could
like a ghost director or something?
Well, that's an interesting theory. What I want to add to your theory, Phobic Zeno, I think he directed everything except the CGI scenes. And there's a lot of CGI scenes. So he directed everything else and then let an animation director direct those. And I think that's very possibility.
Yeah, that happens a lot in the film industry, where if there's a movie that mixes live action and animation, they'll have the main director direct all the live action scenes, and they'll have a completely different director who's sometimes not even credited direct the animation stuff.
So that's very possible, and that would mean that he was pretty limited on Ready Player One because there's only so much live action in that movie. So, all right. Levon Media, I'm glad he did anyways because I want to see a true ending to Indy 5, like one that respected the character and also ends the chapter of Indy's life. Okay, I agree. Time Traveler, registered trademark. Black Widow will do 700 easily. All right.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe estimate.
CJH says they're going to try to rush out X-Men. Possibly. I don't know. I want to see X-Men again. I watched Dark Phoenix and it was better than I thought it was going to be. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. But I actually heard that the Skrulls were supposed to be in Dark Phoenix, and when Disney took over Fox, they scrapped that. I think they did all the reshoots and stuff.
Yeah, I think that film did suffer because of the takeover. They also originally planned to have that a two-parter, and they're like, no, we're not pumping any movies and more into this.
I think it would have worked out better if it was a two-parter.
Yeah. Grobnob the Troll. I like
that's
Jaws.
Like a huge story.
Yeah, it is. Grobnob the Troll. I liked Jaws, Close Encounters, first three indies. Aside from that, he's okay, but not like when he was hungry. Right. When you're trying to make your name, your art is more dynamic and aggressive. When you've had success, the hunger isn't there as much. You don't feel like it's just natural. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean he doesn't have. I hope Spielberg has a renaissance where he goes for harder films, like more aggressive artistic vision than the safe
Yeah.
Spielberg. I hope he
Yeah,
gets
I
that
mean,
again.
like Martin Scorsese still does that, so why can't Spielberg do that?
Well, I was a little let down by Irishman. It was good, but
So
I
you
kind
think he's starting to go in that sort of Spielberg way now?
well, it was getting the band back together with all his favorite actors, and that movie, like the scenes where he's doing the paint. Did you see it?
No, I haven't
Uh,
seen it.
Okay.
I'll have to
Well,
see it one of these
I
days.
don't think the de-aging was revolutionary. I think it's pretty much the same as we've seen before. And then seeing Robert De Niro's de-aged face on an old man's body doing hits on people looked really silly. Like it didn't look like you should feel intense and violent. Not that I like violence, but if you want to be authentic with that type of action scene, you got to feel it. And it looked like an old guy, a CGI old guy taking out people. It looked a little silly sometimes, and it
I
was
was like,
long.
no, I was actually thinking about this recently, but what if they actually instead of de-aging, what if they actually like aged a young actor with CGI, like they made him look older? That'd
Oh
be,
yeah.
I think that would be a pretty interesting
Well,
experiment to try out.
Benjamin Button with Brad Pitt is the only time I could think of that. Is there any other examples people could think of? I think they did in that. He started out old.
Well, they kind of tried to do that in Prometheus, but they did it with like old age makeup and not
Uh
CGI, and the results weren't that great.
Wookiee supremacy. I didn't like the movie by a pickled Snoke action figure in a heartbeat. Yeah, they should make that. I still haven't. I heard about that. I still didn't see it. Did you see Rise of Skywalker? Sci-Fi Dragon?
No, I boycotted it.
Oh, cool. My fellow boycotter. Are you going to watch it when it comes out on rental or something?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't even seen The Last Jedi, so I might have to like watch those two movies just to like get my own opinion on them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good for you if you didn't see The Last Jedi yet. You saw Force Awakens though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Have you watched The Mandalorian?
No, I haven't. I haven't watched it yet. And there's all kinds of stuff I
Oh.
haven't watched
I
because of all these streaming services.
yeah, I really recommend The Mandalorian. I loved it. So, have you been able to avoid what's in The Mandalorian because of the internet?
Well, yeah, mostly. I just mostly see like a bunch of Baby Yoda stuff. That's
Okay,
it.
so you know about that. Okay, it would be
Yeah.
impossible not to know about that. All right. Okay, Levon Media come in with a hot take. I like the first three indie films as well. Indy 4 sucks because it was a mess, but otherwise, I wanted an indie film that ends all indie film, like for real this time, and not a false one. Me and Sci-Fi Dragon were talking behind the scenes. Indy 4, there's still fun to be had if you just go in wondering fun. It's not as good as the other ones to me personally, but George Lucas, he was involved with that one. He doesn't want to do Raiders and The Last Crusade again. He wants to try something different. So there was still fun elements. There were some cringy moments, but I think people like to crap on movies and it's exaggerated. It's not a hard watch. Like there's some movies that are you can't even watch them. They're so awful. It's a fun watch. It's a fun watch.
Yeah, and it was the first indie movie I watched too. So there's that.
CJH says it's a smokescreen. Release the bad news and cover it with good news. You're right. When stuff happens, the next day something else comes out to say. So you hear about this? especially Hollywood entertainment, they love to sneak a bad news there and then something else completely different the next day. So you shift the focus. And middle of the week too. They don't like to do it on a Friday, Saturday. They like to do it like a Monday or Tuesday where it's kind of covered. People are going to work. If you notice, the bad news comes out the good news comes out on Friday, Saturday, towards the end of the week to get more traction. So you bury the bad news at the beginning in the middle of the week, the good, and then you cover it up with good news. But there's even though I don't think the Peacock is right, there is the leaky Peacock. There is stuff happening because of everything coming out once, and it is because let's be real. As much as fandom thinks that they're heard, it's the bottom line is always the dollar, how much money they're getting in, and this is when the numbers are coming out for investors, stockholders, where they have to the talent and the creatives actually have to answer to the stockholders, and where they're also where they're looking at the numbers after the holidays. That's when you get the most money for entertainment, for properties and licensees with the Christmas holiday. And if that's not your gut, if that's not looking as good, you're not going to get additional funding for your projects the next year. And that's what's happening now. End of first quarter, beginning of second quarter 2020, when stuff is actually going to go into production. And I think what's happening, and it's not just Disney. There was news about Warner Brothers too. Someone was let go from Warner Brothers. There was also news about a co-publisher, Dan DiDio, leaving DC Comics, and DC Comics is struggling right now. So this is why this stuff happens now. Their best earnings for most of these companies is fourth quarter near the holidays, and if you can't get the profits going in the direction you want as much as you want, you're gonna suffer in the next quarter, and that's what's happening. All right. Grobnob the Troll. You never liked Jurassic Park or World of the Worlds. Oh, I love both of those.
Yeah, I even like The Lost World too. I know a lot of people don't like The Lost World.
Oh, me too. I liked it. Yeah, I like it a lot. But then I don't like those kind of movies, whoever directs them.
So I guess he doesn't like dinosaur or alien movies, I guess.
Oh, here's Levon again. So if Indy 5 happens in a good way, I want it to be just like Logan. Indy's final stand with his daughter takes the mantle respectfully.
Well, what about his son though? Didn't he have a son in Indy 4 with Mutt Williams?
Hey, I want Shia back. Am I alone?
I know. I want Shia to have a comeback. I kind of feel bad for him after what put him through.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a renaissance with him, or he's going to go way off the rails even more. I hope not.
He tried to have a comeback recently with this really small independent movie that he did. I forget what it's called, but it had to do with him going on on this journey with this disabled kid he was trying to help out, or
Time Traveler Spielberg insider info. All right. I'll think about. I was just gonna have my pal Sci-Fi Dragon on tonight. Registered trademark. Link me to your video. This is something else I want to see of future people. I'm a little hesitant, even though I know you well in comment sections. If I haven't seen any of your actual content, I'm gonna check it out, and get to me later in the week. Time Traveler, Registered Trademark. I'm open to having you on. I just have to be also careful when I let people on that I haven't collabed with before or talked with besides comment sections, because it can. I mean, this is the internet. Although you seem pretty respectful in the comments, so. And I don't want to go too much longer either. It's the only reason I'm hesitant to bring you on. But I appreciate you offering insider info. All right. Oh, here's when you have Spielberg, there's no one going to be insane enough to take notes from him. Okay. All right. Young Sherlock Holmes had an indie feel Spielberg produced. I didn't see the young Sherlock Holmes.
That was like one of the movies that kind of like pushed the CGI technology in the 80s, like really advanced it to the point where it is now. And like whenever there's a documentary about CGI, they always mention young Sherlock Holmes because of that one scene with the glass figure or whatever.
Jeremy Gow, Poltergeist. Everyone thought Steven Spielberg ghost directed and kept Toby Hooper name as director. Okay. Yeah, stuff like that does happen. I don't know if it happens as much anymore, but it's possible. All right. Get into more sections. And then we're going to, towards the end, we're going to talk about, because Sci-Fi Drag wants to talk about the original George Lucas plan for the trilogy, what it would have been. And I really didn't look into that too much. So
yeah, and it's some really interesting stuff.
Okay. Would be funny if Chester Copperpot from the Goonies was a character in the next Indy. Okay. Okay, Phobic Zeno kind of says Poltergeist does have that Spielberg feel all the way through it, doesn't it? Toby Hooper was known for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I got some shocking news for you viewers. I haven't seen Poltergeist because I scary movies scare me, and I know that's a really intense one. Maybe I lost some.
I haven't seen that movie either.
Maybe I lost some respect in the chat, but that kind of stuff freaks me out.
I haven't really seen any of Toby Hooper's work.
They aged Agent Carter and Captain America. Yeah. No CGI garbage. I think with James Mangold, they're not going to do much CGI. I don't think so.
But if Spielberg directed it, there'd be a lot of CGI.
I mean, lately
really into it.
Well, I think we hit the nail on the head with his involvement in these films, because lately, where in the past you do the hard work, practical effects. Lately, the easy thing to do is have the big name director film the live action and have upcoming people do the CGI and do the rest of the film and fix it with special effects. I think that's why you see it so prevalent. And then that gets them the easy paycheck, the easy payday. The production company gets the money, and most of the work is done on the special effects artists.
Yeah, they don't have to put in that much effort.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a good one. I love this idea. Cousin Angel of Yonkers, John Bernthal should have been Robert De Niro's character. And I think you're talking about The Irishman, at least the young version. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, John Bernthal. Oh, man. I'm upset he's not going to get to be the Punisher again. Did you see Daredevil or the Punisher on Netflix?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. It is pretty intense, though.
I can handle it.
Okay.
If I can see it.
All right. I'm way back on the chat. Sorry. Oh, Lucasfilm hated Shia. Okay.
I don't see why they would do him.
Well, he made you know what? He made comments about Spielberg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Michael Bay. So yeah, he kind of burned some bridges there. It's like you don't crap on Spielberg or you're losing a lot. That's probably what's happened to him.
Yeah. I mean, you can crap on Michael Bay, but and people won't like that won't hurt your chances in Hollywood. But if you try to do that to Spielberg, then yeah, it'll really hurt you.
Obi-Wan, you have cat videos? Oh man. Yeah, I'll have you on. Can I have your cat? Obi-Wan Vlog says he has cat videos. If I had more time, I'd watch one on stream right now. Maybe I'll watch one of yours tomorrow, Obi-Wan Vlog. I'll have the cat in the thumbnail. Movie talk with cats. Yeah. Can I get Shia on here one day? I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I'm going to reach out to him. Does he have? He doesn't have a YouTube channel. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
He's just.
I think he kind of dropped off social media after like what he went through, like how everyone was memeing on him and trying to mess with him and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. The Poltergeist curse. Yeah, I did. Oh, I don't know about that. That creeps me out too. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard
No,
about that.
I don't. I won't be able to sleep. I won't be able to sleep.
Well, the only Toby Hooper movie that I'm kind of interested in watching is Life Force. I don't know if you heard of that movie. It's like a space vampire movie or something.
Oh, okay, I think I
Really
heard of that.
Yeah.
Well,
The
I am. Oh, I'm
what?
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The main actress Matilda May is like nude throughout the entire movie, and then that's like one of the main drawing points of that movie is that she's completely naked throughout it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I think you sold it. That's the selling point. So let's talk about the original ideas for George Lucas's sequel treatment that never happened.
I got it up right. I got it up right here, and it's the title of the blog is a comic book telling George Lucas's original vision for the sequel trilogy, and I don't know if I can screen share this or not. Let me see. I'm trying to figure this out.
If you do share screen, go to the Chrome tab. Are you on Chrome?
No, I'm using a different browser called Brave, but it's sort of like Chrome. It's kind of like built on the same stuff.
Does the StreamYard thing say share tab, Chrome tab, or share something tab? Do that part because that makes it easier, and then just click on the article you want.
Yeah, I got it right here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, so like on here it's talking about like first thing they show is like all these like interviews over the years of like Mark Hamill and like saying what sort of hinting at what George Lucas what was planning, and right here he says that let me see. Well, right here they're saying like that he kind of be like the Obi-Wan of the sequel trilogy, and that's kind of like a carry throughout the rest of these ideas. And then right here's another quote. It says, this is from Mark Hamill himself. He says, it's either going to be another plane of existence or not the same character. When you see the ending, you'll see why it has to be the last one, period. And then right here's a picture of old Luke, like some concept art. And what's kind of interesting to me is that like a lot of the stuff that's in here is kind of like stuff that's already in the sequel trilogy as it is, but it's like sort of different.
Oh, okay.
Like here, like the sequel trilogy was always going to focus on a female Jedi, except here the character's called Kira and she has a brother called Skylar. And Kira kind of looks like a younger version of Leia, and Skylar kind of looks like a younger version of Han. So I guess they're supposed to be Han and Leia's kids.
Yeah.
And I guess and here they're showing like some quotes from some articles, and basically George is saying that the films are going to focus on like teenagers as the main characters, and that this was supposed to be the story of Anakin's grandchildren, like, and that's pretty interesting to me because like that tells you right there that George Lucas intended this to be Anakin's story and not like Luke's story or Leia's story or Han's story. Like all the trilogies are supposed to be about Anakin or like center around him in a way.
Yeah. I do think that they wanted to get away from the children because of the Jake Lloyd situation, like too young. Not that they would have gone that young, but I understand why they
Yeah,
did that.
yeah. I mean, George wanted to like instead like he wanted to go with teenagers and not kids necessarily. So,
Mhm,
so he was definitely trying to aim for a little older.
mhm.
And right here, here's some more concept art of the this Jedi temple right here that was supposed to be on the island planet, and right here they're saying that Luke was supposed to go into self exile like he did it in the before the events of the Force Awakens,
Mhm,
and that this Kira character was supposed to find him there, and that Luke was actually going to train her there, like
mhm.
actually train her, and that he was supposed to be like the Obi-Wan of Episode 9, and that he'd probably like die off at the end of Episode 7, which I'm pretty sure the fans would still be pretty angry at if that was the case.
Yeah, yeah,
And let's see what we can find here. I'm just trying to scroll because there's all kinds
yeah,
of like quotes here,
yeah. We're
and
cool. No problem.
and I guess like one of the earlier ideas was that there was going to be like a Darth Vader or Anakin Force Ghost that like would transform from Anakin over to Darth Vader, and that's kind of like what this is a picture of right here. I don't know if you can see it.
A little bit.
And now we're getting into some really interesting stuff right here. This is the some stuff about the original villain who was just called the Jedi Killer. And I guess
Ah, I
and I
would
guess
like that.
and I guess this character is like is the one that kind of like evolved into Kylo Ren because like he's holding Darth Vader's helmet.
Oh, okay. So they did use some of it.
Yeah, they did use some of it, but like they changed it a lot of it, like the more like finer details. And I guess like some point there was gonna be like a junk planet where like there was all kinds of like abandoned ships from like the Empire and stuff, and they were gonna like visit that, and then this is a picture of the Kira character training inside of a cave or something. I don't know. She has like those little sphere things that Luke was using in A New Hope.
Mhm.
And then we have the other villain who's
Oh wow.
Darth Darth Talon, and she's actually a
Yeah.
character from the EU actually.
I
Like
can see why Disney didn't want to go with that. I mean,
yeah,
some of the guys are not like that, but
yeah. Like apparently, Darth Talon was a character that George actually liked a lot from the extended universe, and he wanted to bring her into the canon
okay.
by making her the villain. And and what it's saying here is that like that one of the that she was gonna seduce one of the main characters, specifically Han Solo's son, and he was supposed to become the Jedi killer or something.
Okay.
And that's kind of sort of what's depicted here in these storyboards. I don't think any of this would have been allowed by Disney right here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing that this blog post kind of talks about is that the sequel trilogy was actually meant to be more mature than the previous two trilogies. Like he was like the blogger was saying that like the prequel trilogy is kind of for kids, and then the original trilogy is like for teenagers or like for everyone, and then the sequel trilogy was meant to be for like adults or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah. What could have been? I
Yeah.
like all the concept art for sure.
Yeah, and here we have like a double-sided lightsaber with like one side is red and one side is blue, I think.
Ah,
And
that's
I think
cool.
that was supposed to be like the Jedi Killer's lightsaber or something.
Hmm.
And then I think we see his lair right there, or yeah. And then we have some concept art of a scene that was supposed to take place in, I assume, episode 7, where Kira is exploring the wreckage of the second Death Star under the water, and
Okay.
and there's like some concept of art of her swimming past the Emperor's throne, Emperor Palpatine's throne.
Okay.
And then we have some let me I'm trying to fix this right here. We have some Han Solo concept art. I think this looks pretty cool right here.
Yeah, it does. And that's like a droid with a gun. It looks like.
Yeah. And then we have some spaceship designs, and something that kind of interested me about something that this blogger pointed out was that the trilogies all kind of like have a different like aesthetic to their like spaceship designs. Like the prequel trilogy sort of had a World War One era motif where the ships were kind of like handmade or like they were made in a fabrication shop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the original trilogy like had an industrial World War II motif, which some people would consider to be like diesel punk. And then like what this blogger is like theorizing is that the that George Lucas wanted to take the sequel trilogy into a more Vietnam era motif, like the Vietnam War,
Mm-hmm.
like those like that type of design work that was sort of similar to James Cameron's Aliens, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, those ships look
And
cool.
then
That's something that disappointed me with the sequel trilogy. It's just like recolored X-wings and stuff. No new.
yeah,
cool...
there wasn't really that many new spaceship designs.
Yeah, that was disappointing. There wasn't a lot new anything really. It's just stuff that's been done before. Everything's been done before to me.
Yeah, and I think if George Lucas had his way about the sequel trilogy, everything would have been new in it. Like there'd be some like stuff from before, like some of the aliens and like the characters and stuff, but there'd be a lot more new than old.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're coming into the really big thing that I think might have made George Lucas's sequel trilogy just as divisive as the one we have now.
Oh, okay.
And that's the topic of the wills, which are kind of like the Force, but they're not. Like they control the Force or something like that. Right, here's a quote from George Lucas himself. He said, "The next 3 Star Wars films we're going to get into a microbiotic world. There's this world of creatures that operate differently than we do. I call them the wills, and the wills are the ones who actually control the universe. They feed off of the Force."
Oh, cool.
So I think
I see.
So I think like he was gonna delve more into like the midichlorians and like the wills and stuff with this sequel trilogy, and it was gonna be more like philosophical or more like ethereal, like this blogger said. And I don't really think a lot of fans would have been on board with that, especially like the ones who hated the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, you're probably right. I could see why people be cautious about that part. I kind of think I'm not totally against the midichlorians, but I also see that leaving the Force as something that you can't explain makes it more. I mean, not that you can't explain it, but to not get too into the details makes it more interesting. Like if you have to explain everything, and it's, I don't know. I think explaining things too much demystifies it, takes the magic out of it, and the original trilogy is more like belief in a Force, and if you try to go into every little detail about it, it kind of takes the magic away. I could see that point too. Yeah.
And that's kind of like the argument that people were making about the midichlorians when they were introduced in the Phantom Menace. Mm-hmm. That they were kind of that George was kind of demystifying the Force by giving it more like a scientific explanation, even though it really wasn't a total explanation of the Force. Like he was just like telling like how the Jedi like are able to use the Force and how they're able to communicate with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I would like to see it. Well, can't now.
Yeah. So
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I really wanted to talk about that for a while on your show, and now I had the opportunity to.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I remember when that was coming out, but I didn't look too much into it. I was still in my super madman phase about The Last Jedi, so I was like, I didn't even want to hear about what it could be. But I think I heard some of that stuff from YouTube videos, but I never heard
Yeah.
like the whole breakdown like you just did, which was great. Phobic Xeno says he no thanks. Wills are biological life forms. No thanks.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
I think George Lucas kind of had an interesting idea because like the idea of having like the microorganisms being like godlike beings, like that's a pretty interesting idea, I would say.
Okay, Levon Media said the midichlorians was foreshadowed in episode 4, saying something about letting the force flowing through you, but it was more like a feeling. It wasn't like explaining scientifically. It was just like a feeling
Yeah.
and faith, more like that, and spiritual, I think.
Yeah. But George did have the midichlorians planned out like at that stage at that point. Like this is something that he's been wanting to do for a long time.
Mhm. Well, at least I have the Mandalorian, or we have the Mandalorian, because no matter what's happened, and I actually think that if Disney Star Wars was doing better and people loved The Last Jedi, we might not have got the Mandalorian. We might have got Boba Fett, or Solo did really good. We might have got Solo 2. We might have never got the Mandalorian TV series. So
Yeah.
if all this chaos resulted in Jon Favreau he wrote at least 3 scripts and then presented it to Lucasfilm, and then they said, "Yeah, go ahead." If that resulted, they might not have been as open to someone coming up with an idea if they were successful with their projects, and they might have just moved on to something else. It might not have happened. So you got to take the good with the bad. Sometimes the bad creates better content down the line. And
Yeah. It's always a silver lining.
right, there's great. That's a great place to end it, Sci-Fi Dragon. The silver lining of the dump, like the YouTubers say, Lucasfilm was a dumpster fire. Star Wars is dead. No, the silver lining's the Mandalorian, and I hope you get to see it someday, Sci-Fi
Yeah.
Dragon. I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun. If you can, let me know, and then we'll have you back on to talk about it, see what you think of it.
Yeah. The only thing that's keeping me from seeing it is subscribing to Disney Plus, and I'm not really sure if I actually want to do that or not.
Yeah, well, my father does at his house, and it works on mine. So if you know a family member that's close proximity to you that has it, it is only $5.99 right now too. So I don't know. You could do a free trial and watch the whole series and then unsubscribe. But I don't know if you'd want to go through that.
Do you still think they might jack up the price later on?
Oh yeah, when there's more shows, definitely. I think they're operating at a loss to get the big, just like coupons and promos for new products. It's to drag people in, and then you have those people's credit cards on auto renew. People just forget about auto renewal every month, and then when you bring up the price, oh, see ya, Obi-Wan. Yeah, I'm gonna watch your cat videos now. Go check out. Hey, wait a second. I gotta bring up his channel, Obi-Wan Vlog. Before we go, I think I am subscribed to you. I subscribe to a lot.
Well, if they do bring up the price on Disney Plus, I hope they don't bring it up to like a crazy amount, like $15 or something like that, or $20, because that would just be insanity right there.
I don't see any cat videos. I see Call of Duty Modern Warfare a month ago. Is that you? Obi-Wan Vlog, is that you? I'll have to check you out later because I'm not sure if that's yours or not. John and Dave is our savior. Star Wars is not on life support. Yeah, I mean, if there's something to talk, if it was actually dead, people wouldn't be making videos on it. That's how you really I mean, it's not healthy. It's not as healthy as it could be for sure. I mean, look at what's happening with Kathy and Lucasfilm, Bob Iger, and Indiana Jones. It's not healthy, but it's not dead. It needs it needs a doctor of doom to diagnose this shit. So, sorry. we're right at an hour. I'm sorry. Sci-Fi Dragon had it at a positive note, silver lining, and then I said that. Sorry, I've gone too long. But I gotta spend some time with the wife. I gotta get some rest for tomorrow's work. Thanks, Sci-Fi Dragon, for coming on. You're always welcome here. I think people like having you on the show. In the comments, all right, let me see a few more comments before we go, and give props to Sci-Fi Dragon for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate for you having me on again. That's really nice of you.
No problem. Cousin Angel of Yonkers, you can have it both ways. You can have the Force be a more spiritual thing and scientific with the midichlorians, but always keep it a mystery. Good point.
Yeah. I sort of think that's sort of what George Lucas was trying to do, but I think like maybe the whole microorganism thing with the whales kind of like kind of turns people off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they all also, of course, we're part of the problem fandom. There's one little scene in a movie and we blow it out of proportion, and it's so annoying. Oh, that midichlorians. There's like 2 scenes where maybe 3 scenes where they mention it quickly. It wasn't
they mention it in they mention it in episode 1 and they mention it in episode 3 when Palpatine is giving that speech to Anakin in the opera house. You remember? When his famous Darth Plagueis the Wise.
That was one of my favorite scenes in the trilogy. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll have, if you want to come on back on this week, Sci-Fi Dragon, just let me know. Twitter's the easiest way to check on when I'm going live. I respond right away. It's the easiest way to send you a link. So,
I still want to come on to This Weekend Woke with Bashti. I think that'd be pretty fun right there.
Okay, I'll talk to her about it for next week.
I think her and I would have a pretty interesting conversation because we sort of have opposing views a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because I know she sort of like leans more on the left side of things, and I sort of lean more towards the middle, I guess.
Okay, I'll talk to her about it for sure. All right. Well, bye everyone. Stories by Irish. Oh, you got here at the end, stories. You know what? I need to have Stories by Irish back on. I should have you and Sci-Fi Dragon on. She's a nice lady here on YouTube. Really nice. So we should have her on too. All right. Bye, everybody.